Alrighty, so my name is Kevin Urban, and I'm a voice actor living out of. I live right outside of Springfield, Massachusetts. And who here wants or has dreamed of ever wanting to become a voice actor? Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I got a great audience today. So, when you can make it work, voice acting is the funnest job on the planet. So, I've broken it down into a quick table of contents, how to get started in voice acting, how to create your first demo reel, what are the best starting off microphones, and if time allows towards the end, we'll do a quick Q&A, or you can meet me at my exhibitors table and we can discuss it a little bit more. But quick thing about me, I've had all from the great comfort of home, and that's a great thing about voice acting. It's what you can do it remotely. I've had the privilege to work with great brands like Marvel, Nintendo, Family Guy, IBM. It's at no point when I was growing up did I ever think I would be able to work with just brands that had such an impact on me growing up. And hopefully, with some of the stuff you learn here today, you too can, you know, be a part of that franchise that you might be a fan of. So a lot of people think voice acting is just doing funny caricature voices in a closet or something, and yeah, that is kind of what it is, but it's so much more. There's film, streaming, TV, Netflix, television. That's where the big bucks are. Usually, you have to be located out in New York or LA to really, really get some of those like higher paying leading roles. But there's also does anyone in this audience do they speak more than one language? Okay, few people. Dubbing foreign projects, dubbing commercials, translating services. That's a huge, huge aspect of the voiceover industry that not a lot of people seem to want to go into, but it can be lucrative. And then there's corporate e-learnings, transit and public service announcements, and finally, the most fun, video games or being part of something like Has Been Hotel or Lackadaisy. Very fun, very animated, viral animations that allow you to kind of push your performance to new heights, all while working with people who are very similar to maybe your situation. You might be recording from a closet, you might be recording from a local studio down the street. But as we sort of emerge from a post-lockdown world, the receptiveness to remote recording has only increased. So the most important aspect of voice acting is, I'm sorry if you were expecting a 20-minute breakdown of how to become the best voice actor ever. I do apologize. This cannot be learned in 20 minutes. But the most important part of voice acting is acting. And finding a way to constructively develop your techniques and your skills, truly gaining feedback on scripts is how you will make a difference in this industry. It's how you will advance. And so there's two types of acting methodologies. There's actually several, but the two main ones we're going to go over right now are the method and the Meisner technique. So Meisner, you've probably heard of method acting more. The Joker, every actor who has played the Joker has made method acting kind of viral, and it's sort of warped the public's perception on what preparing for a character and what making a connection with your audience means. But if you're a beginner, Meisner is the fun one. Meisner is all about being present in the moment, eye contact, feeding off of the energy of the script or the person around you. Like, say you have a script for, this is just an example for one I did recently. You have a script for a cannabis product. Cannabis is very relaxed, so you don't want to necessarily be stressed out when you're recording for something that wants you to be relaxed. So to prepare for your script, you want to think of something that makes you relaxed, young. Think about your audience being, you just want to be in that moment. And so a good way to practice being in the moment is what they call the repetition exercise. So you can do this with anyone in the room. You can do this with someone, say it's your first day on the job, you're trying to break the ice. The repetition exercise is a great way to practice being present. So all you have to do is remark on a generic feature of your partner without breaking character. So something like the three of you in the front right there, all three of you are wearing black hats. And so then you would respond back to me, I am wearing a black hat. And we would go back and forth until one of us started laughing. At that point, the scene is dead, and you restart the process. But it's a phenomenal way to act through a scene while also being friendly while gaining chemistry with your scene partner. And it's sort of like a less aggressive version of that. And it helps, so the repetition exercise, it helps manage anxiety if you have a script that you just can't figure out. The repetition aids in calming down your nervous system, and it also encourages you to take up space, be in the present moment. You're creating something. We all want, we're trying to make people smile. We're trying to make people laugh. And so not holding back is what Meisner allows you to do. It will make your reads sound 10 times better. And here's the more fun one, method acting. Researching and behaving as your character on and off the microphone. This can lead to some pretty authentic performances. Joaquin Phoenix, Daniel Day-Lewis, Jared Leto are all well-known practicers of this method. And if you do it right, you can certainly create some really, really powerful performances. But it's also important, you want to make sure your communication with your director, if you truly want to act as your character all the time while on set, just make sure that the rest of your castmates and everyone are okay with it, because no one wants to be working with the Joker 24/7. It's bad enough to work with Jokers in the real world. If you're playing Lady Macbeth, you do not need to inspire your real-life husband to commit murder for the purpose of creating your character. At some point, if you really did commit murder somewhere along the way, then you're doing this acting thing wrong. And I just kind of, as we approach the end of the methodology section, I like to compare it to really, when you're starting off as an actor, you have a lot of different techniques, methodologies that you can choose, the ones that work best for you. It's like choosing something in the weapon in Kingdom Hearts. It will give you whatever technique you choose or methodology you do decide to pursue. It will make things easier at the beginning, but at the end of the day, all your skills need to be well-rounded. So really, it's really what are you best at right now, because your skills will develop with time. And part 2, microphones. So USB microphones, they're the easiest thing to buy. You can go to any department store at their electronics section, and you can find a cost-effective USB microphone. But a lot of, especially some voice actors and audio engineers might say that an XLR microphone will yield higher quality, and that is true. An XLR microphone will give you better sound quality. But if you're just starting off, there's nothing wrong with just grabbing a blanket, going into the closet, and grabbing, buying like a Blue Yeti off of like the Best Buy department store aisle. There's nothing wrong with that if you're just starting off. So the Blue Yeti is probably the most common starting off microphone. This retails at around $129, sometimes goes all the way up to $200. But it's a great microphone because it's multi-directional, and it can also be a cardioid microphone. So an omnidirectional microphone means it can pick up sound from all directions, but there's a little dial on the back of it that can also pick up sound, so that it picks up sound directly from just in front of you. So that makes it phenomenal for voiceover, because you're just getting that one direction of sound. If you want to step up a little bit, the Rode Podcaster, I recorded my first ever, a combination of a Blue Yeti and this baby. I recorded my first video game in my dorm room, actually, funnily enough, because these are two USB microphones that yield phenomenal sound quality, and also give you that just one straight direction sound, so that your voiceovers will sound bright and punchy. So those are the two USB microphones that I would recommend starting off with. If you wanted to make the jump up to what's known as an XLR microphone, which is a microphone that has a direct analog feed, that will yield much higher sound quality. And so you can start off with, say, if you're a musician or in a band, you probably don't have to go with an 8-channel analog mixer, but you would need something like this to power the microphone, because if you just plugged an XLR directly into your laptop, it would sound fuzzy and it just wouldn't sound strong. The Focusrite, this is the one that I use personally. This is great for voiceover artists because there's only one line needed. This will retail around $159, and this is called the Focusrite Scarlett third generation. It has 48 volt power, so it will, and direct monitor. So this will allow you to, say you book a audition with a client who wants a direct connection, who wants to hear your audio directly from your studio. Direct monitor is a crucial feature for remote, especially for remote recording in 2023 and beyond. Especially flexibility and availability, because you're going to be recording, the further up you advance in your voiceover career, you're going to be recording with people from Texas, California, so availability is the best. Availability goes a big way in voiceover. But the XLR microphone, one that I recommend is the Joe Rogan microphone. Joe Rogan, John Boy Media, basically every bro podcaster has made the Shure SM7B kind of like the go-to podcaster's microphone, and they're right in doing that. It sounds phenomenal. I recorded the Family Guy video game when I did the voice of He-Man and Lord Doom for the Family Guy game. I recorded it on a Shure SM7B. This thing sounds crispy. So if you can just get over the fact that Joe Rogan just shoves it down everyone's throat, I would highly recommend this microphone. And then the Rode NT-A MP. This is if you really want to start going up to the big leagues. A lot of people use this microphone. It picks up a huge range. Men with lower voices or people with lower voices love this microphone because it captures subharmonics really well. So make sure whenever you pick out your microphone, you're picking out a microphone that is well suited to your voice. Otherwise, you might get something that might make you sound a little muddy or even a little flat. So make sure you choose a microphone that enhances your sound. And I'm going to speed through some of this stuff just because I don't know if how far is my time good? 5? Okay, yeah, I knew I was All right, I know is okay. Actually, not too bad. The demo reel in any creative field, it's your most important piece of marketing material. It's a necessity to get on most talent rosters, and think of it as your voiceover resume. And a great way to develop your voices and characters is, you can do dramatic readings on a YouTube channel, collaborative content creation. You can join your college's improv comedy, because what these exercises do, all these creative outlets and mediums, they encourage you to not just practice voices and practice your range, but they encourage you to practice the voice over a long period of time. Like I know some people here in this audience do D&D, and they have to do beastie voices and like wizard voices, often for the entire story, for the entire premise. So, and I'm gonna be honest, recording the super growly voice for Fire Emblem twice for 4 hours was the money was great, but don't get me wrong. It destroyed my voice, absolutely destroyed it. So those exercises help you with your endurance. This is what while I was at PortCon in Maine. This is a gentleman named Paul Castro Jr. He actually just landed a huge role in Pokemon, so I had to send him a congratulations about that. He has, once you advance in the industry, you'll develop a commercial reel, a video game reel, so you'll have a demo reel for multiple genres. I was gonna play my demo reel, but that in itself is 1 minute, so we gotta be conscious here.
I am Moarim. I am a Laguza. Do not touch me. You must not come near me now. My body can't. Little one, get away! Go forth and build our civilization as you wish. Glory belongs to greed!
Idea Market is. Welcome to Idea Market, the literal marketplace of ideas, where the world's best information competes in a public market. And you can make money buying tokens linked to anything on the internet. Think GameStop.
Well, before you assume I'm guilty, won't you hear my story?
Audacity is the best software to record voiceover, especially if you're starting off. It's free. It's native and receptive to most plugins. So if you download something from like Wave or Pro Tools, you can use that on Audition. Adobe Audition is one of the industry standards. A lot of colleges and schools actually give like trials for this. So if you have like a Mac lab, if you wanted to rip a recording in one of those studios or one of those USB microphones, you can do a lot to make your audition sound amazing in this software. Casting Call Club is where you go if you want to, create a game, get your first video game credit. Voices.com and Voices123 are what's known as pay-to-play websites. You pay to audition. You get a lot of great auditions from these resources, but you do have to pay in a fixed amount a year. And finally, we're reaching the end. I'm a game developer, and I want to add video game voice acting to my video game, but I have absolutely no idea where to start. There's a great resources for voice actors and developers alike. It's called No Studio in particular. They're on Twitter. And these guys have access to phenomenal talent. Some people who have worked with My Hero Academia, Chainsaw Man, a lot of great well-known anime. They have a lot of those talents work with this service. So they're great. and if there's any questions, or I'd be happy to take them. We're now reaching the end, but if there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them at my table or in the quiet room anywhere. But I appreciate you all giving me your attention, and have a great rest of the day.